What's going on, everyone? Cannabis Express 420 here. Today I'm going to talk about a couple ways you can increase your odds of getting extremely dense buds. If you don't know yet, I stream on Twitch. If you enjoy gamer content, I usually stream Elden Ring or The Hunter Call of the Wild. You can go check that out down in the description below. I do plan on streaming more games, but I only have so much time, and I have things that I need to get done on those games. So there you have it. But without further ado, let's just get into how to make more dense buds on your plants. Tip one is the bare minimum basic. You're going to want to go to your seed bank of your choice. You're going to want to click on the seed that you're thinking about buying. You're going to want to look at the genetics section. You're going to want to look at the bud structure description. If it's not in the genetics, it's not going to be dense. So you're going to want to look for dense bud, density, stuff of that matter. Make sure that dense buds are actually in the plant genetics before spending the money and moving forward. If a dense bud structure is what you're personally looking for, or your clients or your patients are looking for. So number two, you're going to want a strong veg stage. You're going to want to feed it properly. You're going to want to give it a good regimen. You're going to want to train it in the veg stage. You're going to want to make it strong so it's prepared to hold up very dense, very heavy buds. You're going to want to make them big. You're going to want to make them dense. And if you have a weak, spindly plant that's really thin, it's not going to be able to hold those up. The plant has adapted to stay alive through its entire lifespan. And if one of the things that's keeping it from living through its entire lifespan is the buds getting too big, it will actually stop growing bigger buds. It will stop making the buds heavier, causing it to make smaller buds than it would have if you didn't train it in the veg stage and if you didn't feed it properly. It obviously will not grow big buds because it will go into the flower stage either toxic on nitrogen, potassium, or phosphorus, and then it will need to flush out those nutrients and then start recovering and then start growing again, rather than just going into it with a lot of momentum and a lot of training and then exploding into a wonderful plant that you're going to absolutely love. So number two is give it a strong veg stage, feed it and train it properly. I have training videos you can go check out as well if you don't know anything about plant training. And I also have feeding videos. You can look up a feeding watering playlist I actually put together. So that will help you also. But finish this video first. Number three is going to be not lollipopping. So if you don't know what lollipopping is, it's actually the practice of taking off your half to 2/3 of your plant to make sure that all of the energy that is going to be used for growing is going up towards the top of the plant where it wants to go already. But when you leave things at the bottom of the canopy, especially dead and old growth or something that's not getting a lot of light, it's going to divide the energy as it's going up and drop a little bit everywhere. But the places that have the most light are obviously going to get the most energy. So what you as a grower are going to want to do is you're going to want to influence the growth to be pushed towards the top. You're going to want to do this 2 weeks approximately before you decide to flip into the flower stage. And you will know it's time to flip into the flower stage when your plants are about half the height you want them to be. That's very important to remember as well. Make sure your plants are ready to go into the veg stage at whatever point you are ready, and then remove the bottom half to bottom 2/3 of the plant to make sure as much energy is going to those tops as possible. This is going to give you more energy going to those buds, which is going to fill them out more, and it's also going to make sure that you're getting every little bit of that yield as possible. Because another thing is you don't want to be trimming up a bunch of larf that you're not going to want, that's approximately going to turn into shake when it's all said and done. And you don't want to spend the time to actually cut open or trim apart the small buds. So you're going to want to do yourself a favor, Make sure all your bud sites are getting a good amount of light so that they can grow properly and grow to their maximum potential. Number 4 is actually going to be using a trellis net. And the wording I like to use for this isn't specifically a trellis net, it's making the plant hold up its own weight. Like we talked about earlier in the video, if a plant is not able to hold up its weight, it's not going to produce as much. Therefore, if you put in a trellis net or you tie it to stakes in some form or fashion that's going to keep it from holding up its own weight, it's going to grow more bud sites, because what the bud sites actually do is they'll grow a trichome, which is a secondary sex characteristic. Well, it's a primary sex characteristic. It's a secondary survival characteristic, which sticks pollen to it so it can actually fertilize its seeds and then live on. So the less it has to hold up its own weight, the more it's going to make buds, the more it's going to make trichomes, because it is less stressed from not having to hold up its own weight. If you got any value out of this video, please leave a like down below. It really helps out the channel. And if you are new here and you want to learn more about growing cannabis, please hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell to get notified every single time I upload. And do not forget to go check out my Twitch down below. That's pretty much it. See you guys next time.